Good morning. Myself, Dr. Shabnamin Shah, JVN Shabnamin Shah. We are continuing our topic, pregnancy-induced hypertension. Now coming across these etiological factors of preeclampsia. First one, failure of trophoblast invasion. Means here, abnormal placentation will be there. Trophoblast invasion will not be proper. So that may lead to this preeclampsia. Then vascular endothelial damage. Vascular endothelial damage. Vascular endothelial damage that may lead to this preeclampsia. Then inflammatory mediators, secretion of these inflammatory mediators like cytokines, immunological intolerance between the maternal and fetal tissues, coagulation abnormalities, then increase oxygen free radicals in the circulation, then imbalance of angiogenic and anti-angiogenic proteins, genetic predisposition, and dietary deficiency or excess. Excess of diet or deficient diet may lead to preeclampsia. Now, this etiopathogenesis, trophoblast invasion and uterine vascular changes that leads to hypertension. Now, normally there is invasion of endovascular trophoblast into the walls of this spiral arterioles. है ना, यहाँ पर क्या है कि जब endometrium में when the placental implantation is there, then the endovascular trophoblast जो है invasion of these tropoblastic cells into the spiral arterioles of this uteroplacental bed. Now in first trimester, this inverts up to the decidual segment. In second trimester, it inverts up to the myometrial segment. Now this process is what happens. ये प्रोसेस जो है इट इज रिप्लेसिंग द एंडोथेलियल लाइनिंग एंड मस्कुलर आर्टेरियल वॉल, है ना. मस्कुलर वॉल जो है आर्टेरियोल्स की, स्पाइरल आर्टेरियोल्स की, उसको रिप्लेस उसके तक जा रहे हैं. देन देयर विल बी फाइब्रिनॉइड फॉर्मेशन एंड यहाँ पर क्या होगा, ये जो स्पाइरल आर्टेरियोल्स जो रहेंगे वो डिस्टेंड हो जाएंगे बहुत ज़्यादा. दे विल गेट डिस्टेंडेड, दे विल गेट फनेल शेपेड एंड दे विल बी टॉर्चुअस. नाउ ये क्या हो रहा है, दिस फिजियोलॉजिकल चेंज स्पाइरल आर्टेरियल्स को लो रेजिस्टेंस प्रोवाइड करते हैं एंड ऐसे वो फनेल शेपेड होंगे तो इट विल मेक द स्पेस फॉर द सफिशिएंट ब्लड टू कम टुवर्ड्स दिस फिटल साइड so that the normal circulation is maintained, the blood pressure is maintained. This is normal one. Now in preeclampsia what happens, this failure of this second way of endovascular trophoblast migration means ये जो second myometrial segment तक जाना वाला है वो नहीं जा रहा है and there is reduction in the blood supply, है ना. तो funnel shape नहीं होंगे, tortuosity नहीं होंगी, distension नहीं होगा this arteriole का, and ये क्या होगा, blood flow through this uteroplacental bed will be low, so this may lead to hypertension. Now यहाँ पर जो है deficiency of prostaglandins. Deficiency of prostaglandins. Prostaglandins basically क्या कर रहे हैं, some prostaglandins like prostaglandin I2, है ना. prostaglandin I2 जो रहता है उसका वाजोडायलेटर इफेक्ट है एंड डिफिशियंसी हो रही है ये वाजोडायलेटर प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन की. तो वाजोडायलेटेशन नहीं हो रहा है इसलिए ब्लड सप्लाई प्रॉपर नहीं है, इसलिए हाइपरटेंशन डेवलप हो रहा है. Then angiotensinase activity is depressed. Now this angiotensinase, this is an enzyme and it will convert this angiotensin 1 into 2 and ये क्या हो रहा है, this angiotensinase इसको एक्टिविटी जो है कम हो रही है, इट हैज बीन गेट डिस्ट्रॉयड एंड क्या हो रहा है, ये डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाता है. तो यहाँ पर एंजियोटेंसिनेज की एक्टिविटी कम हो रही है, सो उसकी वजह से हाइपरटेंशन डेवलप हो रहा है. ब्लड प्रेशर स्टेबलाइजेशन इज नॉट पॉसिबल बाय द एंजियोटेंसिन 2 इज द mechanism. Then deficiency of this nitric oxide which is a vasodilator तो वाजोडायलेटर की डेफिशिएंसी है तो बट नेचुरल वाजोडाइलेटेशन नहीं होगा तो सप्लाई टू द यूट्रोप्लासेंटल थ्रू यूट्रोप्लासेंटल ब्लड विल नॉट बी प्रॉपर एंड देयर मे बी डेवलपमेंट ऑफ हाइपरटेंशन. देन दिस एंडोथेलिन्स, एंडोथेलिन 1 जो है वाजो कंस्ट्रिक्टर है और इसकी वजह से वाजो कंस्ट्रिक्शन होगा जहाँ पर एंडोथेलिन 1 ज़्यादा सिक्रेट होगा और जिसकी वजह से वाजो कंस्ट्रिक्शन होगा एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ हाइपरटेंशन. अगर इन्फ्लेमेटरी मेडिएटर्स के जो है सिक्रेशन विल हैपन, द एक्सेसिव सिक्रेशन ऑफ दिस इन्फ्लेमेटरी मेडिएटर्स विल बी देयर एंड what it will cause, then vasoconstriction will be there because of this inflammatory mediators like cytokines. साइटोकाइंस जिसके अंदर TNF अल्फा है ना, ट्यूमर नेक्रोजिक फैक्टर जो है वो सिक्रेट होगा एंड इंटरल्यूकिन 6. these are the inflammatory mediators basically and ये जो है एंडोथेलियल इंजुरी कॉज करेंगे. अगेन inflammatory mediators again and the cycle will continue and there will be vasoconstriction and the development of hypertension may occur. Then the next one is abnormal lipid metabolism. Abnormal lipid metabolism क्या है? This will result in the more oxidative stress and like lipid peroxidase reactive oxygen species and superoxide anion radicals. This will cause again endothelial injury and endothelial dysfunction. Endothelial injury होंगी, फिर inflammation होगा, again vasoconstriction will be there and again the hypertension will develop. Imbalance of angiogenic and anti-angiogenic proteins. Imbalance of these angiogenic and anti-angiogenic proteins in the placental vascular bed, and there will be overproduction of these two angiogenic factors from the trophoblastic tissue and anti-angiogenic factors like soluble tyrosine kinase, endoglins, all these है ना, इसका सिक्रेशन होगा and endothelial dysfunction होगा. Endothelial dysfunction होगा because of this imbalance and there will be development of hypertension. Now edema. Edema, this we had already seen, that is excessive accumulation of fluid in the extracellular space. Extracellular tissue space के अंदर excessive accumulation of this fluids, it will lead to edema. तो यहाँ पर क्या है, इंक्रीज ऑक्सीडेटिव स्ट्रेस होगा, एंडोथेलियल इंजुरी होगी, एंडोथेलियल इंजुरी हो रही है तो इंक्रीज कैपिलरी परमेबिलिटी होगी, इंक्रीज कैपिलरी परमेबिलिटी so it may lead to edema. Then proteinuria. Now proteinuria here there may be this may the exact mechanism is we cannot explain, but the following mechanism may get involved, like spasm of the afferent glomerular arterioles. Then there will be an anoxic change in the endothelium of this glomerular tuft, and then glomerular endotheliosis. It may lead to increased capillary permeability, increased leakage of proteins. It may result in, and as the leakage of protein will be, so proteinuria will be there. Tubular reabsorption is depressed here. So albumin constitutes 50 to 60% and globulin is up to 15% in the total content of the proteins that has been excreted in the urine. So albumin will be more. Now pathophysiology. Uteroplacental bed. Uteroplacental bed. Basically हम यहाँ पर whenever we are studying this pathophysiology, exact mechanism is not known how the hypertension is developed. It has been a puzzle still now, but so many theories and mechanisms are explained that may be responsible for the development of this pregnancy induced hypertension. Uteroplacental bed, first of all, there is increased whenever the areas of occasional red infarct in the placenta may be seen in this uteroplacental bed. So premature aging of the placenta will be there. Then this villi, syncytial degeneration, syncytial trophoblast cells, they will degenerate. Increased syncytial knot formation will be there. More proliferation of cytotrophoblast will be there. Thickening of the basement layer will be there, and proliferative end arthritis may lead to this hypertension. Now intervenous circulation, the blood flow is impaired to the extent 1/3 से ज़्यादा ब्लड फ्लो जो है दैट हैज़ बीन इम्पेयर्ड, इससे क्या होगा, मैटरनल ब्लड मिस प्लासेंटल चेंजेस विल अकर and the fetal life will be at the stake, and the patient will develop hypertension. Now kidney में क्या क्या changes आएंगे, as we had already seen, glomerular endothelitis will be there, then fibrin like deposit at the basement membrane, the lumen will get occluded, interstitial cells in between the capillaries proliferate, then the spasm of the afferent glomerular arteries will be there, patchy areas of damage may be seen, and the combined effect will be renal blood flow will be hampered, and GFR is impaired more than 25%. So there will be loss of protein, and there will be this like recovery अगर नहीं हो रही है, then in severe cases anoxia and renal arterial thrombosis may lead to renal cortical necrosis. Then this impact on the blood vessels, vasospasm will be there, then circulation is impaired in the vasa vasorum, then endothelial damage, and again the development of hypertension. Now in liver, periportal hemorrhagic necrosis of the liver is seen in this hypertension. The necrosis start at the peripheral lobules, and then subcapsular hematoma will be developed, then hepatic insufficiency will be there, and there will be then abnormal HELLP syndrome will be developed. Now HELLP syndrome, hemolysis for H, elevated liver enzymes for EL, and low platelet count for LP. So here the patient will have the symptoms like patient may develop nausea, vomiting, epigastric pain, pain in the right hypochondriac region, the patient may complain of. Then the management में this principal management is that of the same like preeclampsia, anti-seizure prophylaxis like magnesium sulfate is generally given in these cases. The more concentration is given on the ventilation and the O2 saturation and to the urine output. Then cesarean section is done in the patients who have reached up to the as far as possible. Then the patient should be managed in the ICU. Bilirubin contain all these investigations like enzymes, hepatic enzymes, elevated investigations has to be done. Now complications में these maternal complications we will see. अब्रप्शियो प्लासेंटी है ना, क्या क्या कॉम्प्लिकेशन हो सकते हैं, अब्रप्शियो प्लासेंटी, डिसेमिनेटेड इंट्रावेस्कुलर कोएगुलेशन, देन अक्यूट रिनल फेलियर, सीवियर एसाइटिस, पल्मोनरी एडिमा, प्लूरल इफ्यूजन, cerebral edema, laryngeal edema, retinal detachment, subcapsular liver hematoma, acute respiratory distress syndrome, sepsis, and death may occur of that of the pregnant female. Then perinatal morbidity and mortality is quite high in these hypertensive disorders. Then due to preterm delivery, the neonate may go into the respiratory distress syndrome in sepsis. Prematurity is very common in this hypertension. So the next part we will see in the next class. Thank you.